Welcome to episode number 271 of the Keep Up Podcast,
where we remember your favorites like ours.
I don't know what that means.
Does it have to mean?
No, I should know after 8,000 episodes. Why are you fixing your mic now?
This doesn't go any taller?
We're live.
I feel like I'm Hunch Boy.
We're doing it live.
I feel like I'm... Look how... Is this shorter than usual?
No.
I feel like Uncle Hunchy.
Well, you don't have to hunt. You don't have to be like all up in it. You don't... Don't sit like that.
I'm Uncle Hunchy.
Don't. You're going to get a permanent hunchin'.
Oh, I already feel it.
Don't, dude.
Yo,
Don't get that.
I'm hunchin' for some lunchin'.
That's a hunchin' uncle there.
Hi, Brett.
Tim's an uncle, for context.
Yeah. Oh.
Got it. There's a hair in my mouth.
From the great Platypus?
Are platypuses hairy?
Yeah. This one's fuzzy.
They have fur, right?
Look at his back.
Wait a second.
What?
What's wrong with this platypuse's tail?
What?
That doesn't look like a platypus tail.
That's why it's a platypus.
And not a platypus.
Right.
It's the great platypus.
Yeah, that is weird. Because isn't it usually like a beaver tail?
What actually is this? Is it just a platypus plush that you happen to have?
Yeah, it's from a game.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Is it an actual platypus in the game?
That's what I thought it was.
Does it have this?
I mean, it's a plush in the game.
Does it have this poser tail in the game?
No, well, it's a like 2D style.
Wait, it's a plush of a plush in the game?
Yeah.
It's getting weird here.
It's very important, though. To the moon, if you played the game.
To the moon.
You'll cry looking at it.
To the moon and back if you'll be my baby.
Baby.
Do you know that song?
I don't.
Savage Garden.
Yo.
Savage Garden.
Are they still around?
Cherry Cola. You know that song?
No.
Dude, you know the Cherry Cola song?
Is there more to it?
Something like that.
I'm gonna
Cherry
drink
Cola.
Some Coca-Cola.
No, dude.
I'm
Not
gonna
that. You don't know
have
To the Moon and
a
Back? What
Pepsi.
about Truly, Madly, Deeply? Is that what it's called?
Oh, yeah. We've sung that before on the podcast.
Right?
You did that for so much
He does
longer.
it for so long. I think I just did it in an accurate amount of
It
notes.
feels so much longer when you're not saying
When you're
the
not
words.
saying the words. He's just stuck. Do it. Do you know how many times it is? He goes. It's way too long when
How
it's
does
not
music
words.
exist?
It's crazy, dude.
This makes no sense.
No, it's wild.
How do we get there? I don't know Cherry Cola. I do know that song you just said.
Truly, Madly, Deeply.
Yeah. Savage Garden.
Savage
Are
Garden.
they still around anymore?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think they have passed. I believe they
Is
still...
that when a band breaks up? Do they pass?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if you put out a certain amount of records and then you break up,
Yep.
you just...
Floof.
Poof.
Wow.
Yeah, like a
Sounded dusty.
like a cartoon car.
Speaking of dying cartoon cars,
Yeah.
what's the name of our podcast, Brett?
Oh, welcome to the Keep Up Podcast, where I'm Brett and Tim is Tim.
That's me.
And we talk about all the things we consume, be it media or food, or whether or not it's a brand new year.
And that's what this is.
It really is, man. That's kind of weird, huh? How do you feel about it so far? What are we're 3 days in at the time of this recording.
I feel refreshed.
You do!
I'm taking a new
high five. I've decided I'm messing up every high five in 2024.
That's honestly the worst goal I've ever
Let's go.
heard. I know people got like crazy
See
goals.
if you can stop it.
Oh! He surprised me. Damn.
And the streak continues.
You're going to get me so many times because I
Terrible
trust
goal.
you.
That felt hard. Are you okay?
I'm fine.
All right.
Unlike you, I got hands.
For the listeners, I just karate chopped Tim's wrist way harder than it was. Like, you know how Bruce Lee does like the 1-inch punch?
Yeah, yeah.
It was that, but
on my wristicles.
on your wrist and avoiding high fives and from someone who doesn't know anything about martial arts. I know a little bit.
You're going to learn a lot.
I know
think.
horse stance.
Horse stance?
Isn't that what it is?
Horses don't stance.
Yeah, of course they do.
They don't do this.
Well, they would if they didn't
Yo,
have...
look,
they
I'm a
didn't-
horse.
Don't stand up and say I'm a horse. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called.
Horse stance?
It's the only thing I
I
remember.
remember cell phone block.
Cell phone block?
Yeah.
You took karate?
Yeah.
No,
For
you
like
didn't.
3 weeks.
Lies. Oh, I did too. All I remember is they played Mortal Kombat.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's sick.
I know, and then I quit afterwards.
The movie or the music?
The game.
The game?
Well,
when
you
say-
went with like 2 subsequent things.
You said they played Mortal Kombat. So
yeah,
I assume,
they played it.
I assume the movie. Like they played it for you guys to watch
Yeah,
to learn. From.
I guess that makes sense. No, it wasn't like an educational film. That's so funny.
But they brought Mortal Kombat to karate?
Yeah, they just had it on Genesis, like in the lobby for when you're waiting for your parents to pick you up or whatever.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, so you learn horse stance for like an hour.
It's not real.
I'm pretty sure that's a thing.
I'm not even going to look it up because I don't want to give you the satisfaction of it existing. See, that's there's no way it's that long.
I feel like when he pitched that verse,
Yeah.
the other dude, it's just 2 dudes.
Yeah.
I feel like he was like, all right, I think I got it. And he was doing it. And the other guy was just like, is it going to end? Is it just that?
Is this the whole song?
Is it just
I think you did it shorter there just to end it.
I did. Oh, that's so loud. That's so much
Dude,
peaking.
you're the king of peaks.
I know. It's a lot. Enjoy that in your ears. What? So how was your 2023? We're going to do something special on this episode.
Okay, Brett's jumping
It
around.
was Tim's idea.
It was.
How was it? How was your 2023?
It was.
We're going to do kind of like a year in review. Sorry, I'm sorry.
No,
listen, man, it's been a long day.
Dude.
I almost threw this.
No.
I thought in my head, pick up the great Plapatus.
You can't.
And launch it across
Not
the world.
our baby.
This is our first podcast of the year, and I'm peeking and screaming.
Yo, that's the best way to start the year.
That's the Keep Up's autobiography. Peeking and screaming. The Keep Up story.
The Keep Up story.
The story
So last year,
of the Keep Up.
we said 2023 was our year.
And do you feel like it was?
It felt like a good year.
Felt like a good year.
A good year for the Keep Up.
The Keep Up.
It was. Honestly, it felt like our year. We were getting.
Wow.
We were getting the stride.
Wow.
I think. I don't know. I mean, we were more productive
We were productive.
than we have been. I think in many years.
That's true. If we're going to look back and think about milestones.
Yes.
Which we are.
We are a milestone.
We launched our Patreon.
Right.
Finally.
Finally.
Officially.
Yeah. The time we did before wasn't real.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah. It never happened.
And the live streams.
Yes.
On your Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Collection Revolution.
Which they're also dead now, but they're not dead, but we're reformatting.
Yeah,
them.
they've evolved.
The last one was the last one.
Right. And at the very tail end,
Yes.
we got this brand new setup for filming.
Yeah.
For YouTube.
And that's thanks to Patreon.
Our patrons. Yeah, thank you guys.
You know, we got new mics.
That's true. The mics
lights.
and the lights.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Headphones. You got new
Oh,
headphones
yeah.
too?
And they're great. They're like my favorite headphones.
So, I mean, we have proven
Yeah.
that we can do things
Together.
through the power of friendship
Yes.
and brotherhood.
That's right.
So, 2024, what is our phrase for 2024? What is the year for us?
If last year was our year,
yeah.
I don't know. What other kind of phrases can you make for years?
This year is
Gonna be a keeper. No. Because then what after this year? You don't get to keep any of them?
that's it. What else do people say?
I honestly think they just say this is our year.
This is our year.
I think
part
that's the
two.
only thing relative to a year
is what this is.
is you just get to possess it.
Yeah.
You
You're
get
like,
to say this is my year.
right. And you know why last year was so good?
Why?
It's because we said this is our year.
Right.
So I'm going to say it again. Brett,
Right. What?
2024, this is our year.
It's also our year?
This is also
we
our
get
year.
2 years?
It extends.
This is crazy.
It continues.
It could be.
How was your 2023?
It was good. It was eventful. Some upsies and some downsies.
I felt like you went through a lot.
I did go through a lot, but I don't feel like the hardest part was like the big stretch of not sleeping because of an injury.
I was tired because of how much you didn't sleep.
It felt like it went on forever. So that was like a weird, that was probably the hardest point.
Yeah.
Like when I think back to my mental state with that was like difficult.
That was the lowest.
Yeah. And then, But honestly, like I don't feel like the year was. I know a lot of people who had like a really rough year.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like I had that. I definitely had some struggles. We all have some things. But worked through those, and there were a couple things that I'm hoping to make up for this year. Like I wanted to do a second season of my podcast that I did, and I wanted to do a whole season of streaming in October, and that's when my injury flared up, so I didn't get to do any streaming, which is a bummer. But I actually just I sent you some pictures. I was like messing with my streaming setup the other day because I'm getting like antsy to play again and stream. Although I might need surgery on my other hand. But anyways, at some point this year.
It's a 2024 problem.
Right. That's future Brett's issue. But yeah, overall, I think it was pretty good. I was definitely stoked on what we accomplished. The new job was this year, which it feels like I've been there for a while, but that actually just happened in May, which means I got laid off in like January.
Oh, yeah.
So like a lot happened this year.
Oh, I forgot it was January. Yeah, it was right after Christmas.
Right, yeah. It was like right at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
So I had time off trying to figure out where I was going to work, got the job, injury, like all that, all that stuff was crazy.
Yeah.
But also I recorded some new music. I put out a new single. I have a bunch of stuff. Oh, I got to show you the music video.
Oh.
It's sitting right here.
Done?
It's done.
Oh, done.
I'll show it to you after. You guys got to wait.
Oh, fools.
So, yeah.
Be Brett's brother.
I would say, yeah, that was your mistake. I would say overall, it was pretty good.
Dude, I like to hear it.
How was yours?
It was fine.
I know you had some things.
It was, for me, it felt mostly like a filler year.
Filler?
Yeah, like what we did again, that was like, to me, that was a highlight.
Yeah.
Because I felt like there was a lot of growth for us.
That was a big sniffle. I apologize.
Yeah, Brett's got sniffles.
Yeah, just a little bit.
I met another friend from the online world, IRL, Purple
yeah,
Mohawk.
so cool.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But other than that, I felt like it was pretty just like it came and went.
Yeah.
You know, I spent a lot of time working on the ice cream truck.
Right.
And then the holidays came, and that filled up a lot of time.
Did you feel like it went by quick?
Yeah, like reflecting on what the year was, because the fact that you said you started your job in May felt like it was only like a month or two ago that you started your job.
Isn't that part weird?
Yeah, and it feels like it's just like bam, bam, bam.
Yeah.
You know, it was...
I kept feeling like in between all year. Like it felt like the year kind of flew by to like mid-year, and then when the holidays were encroaching, I guess, like when we hit fall.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, it's crazy that we're here already. But at the same time, it felt like it was kind of taking its time getting places.
October felt long.
Yeah.
But then November, December was like bam, bam, bam.
Yeah.
We're out of here.
I can't
Year's
believe
over.
And now we're just
here.
Here we are.
Here we are. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this year because I'm going to approach some goals that I've had before in different ways.
Yeah. I hear that.
Yeah, just try some new different things.
Yep.
Because yeah, again, last year felt like stagnant in a way that I was doing a lot of stuff that I've done previous years.
Yeah.
And I didn't reinvent myself in any crazy way.
That is so interesting. I was just thinking today because I was watching one of my favorite
comedians.
I couldn't decide how to say it.
Podcaster?
It was on YouTube. I'll go with YouTuber.
Yeah. Content creator.
Finn McKenty. He's the greatest.
Yo, fan.
Big fan. So he was talking about identifying a thing that like has, I'm going to butcher it. I watched it earlier today, but it had to do with like identifying a place where you've like gone wrong or like sabotaged yourself and then figuring out like how to do that differently.
Yeah.
Maybe his point was it was along those lines, but in my mind, I translated it to pretty much what you just said. Like, what can I do different this year?
Right.
That's like
Still
not how I've approached things previous years.
Yeah.
I feel like I said it perfectly.
You did. You nailed it. And
thank you so much.
I'm glad someone else has that thought that like how you approach and do things can be different, but you can still do the things you enjoy and like, and
totally,
you know. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at. I'm nothing like solid yet. I have different ideas. I was thinking about getting like a journal, and instead of writing everything down like digitally, I do it physically.
Love that.
Just like I don't know, some kind of different way because I love like chronicling and making lists and stuff like that. But I'm curious if I'll appreciate what I do more if I write it down as opposed to doing it digitally. I don't know, just different things.
I like that. That's cool.
But yeah, not a particular. Last year wasn't particularly bad. It was just I'm indifferent to it.
Yeah,
indifferent.
That's fair.
I did complete 307 games.
That is insane. That's so many games.
I don't ever want to hit that number again. I don't.
You're not gonna try to beat it this year?
I don't think so. I really
That's a
'cause
lot, dude.
I feel like the games I did, I appreciated them all. I had
Yep.
fun, but
Good.
I felt like I was under when I came to like the last month. I felt like I was really under pressure to hit 300 games.
But then you kept beating more.
well, then after that, I was just relaxing.
All the pressure is off. So
right,
you're just
and
like,
so right, but
That's funny.
not in a bad way. I was still completing things and appreciating them. I think, but yeah. So I want to take it slow.
yeah,
I want to take it nice and easy this year,
that's fair.
and focus on other things like building mechs.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got Tim some mechs to build like 2 Christmases ago.
2 Christmases ago, yeah.
And I can't believe it's like the size of that pop figure.
It really
The box is huge.
It's huge. I was surprised. When I was building like the feet, I was like, oh, this is kind of tall
Yeah.
or kind of tiny. And then I got to the legs and I'm like, oh yeah, he's going to be the size of my hand when I'm done.
It also took Tim like 12 hours.
I
to
have
do
been
it.
nonstop. I feel like I'm like building a rocket. It's been fun. I've learned a lot about myself.
Yeah.
But yeah,
As one does through a challenging process.
that's it. That's what hobbies are for.
And now you
They
got this new
challenge you.
little Gundam buddy.
Yeah, I got. I don't know what his name is yet.
I don't know either.
Butt gun.
I doubt it's butt gun.
Ah, shoot.
If I had to take a stab in the dark, I'd say it's not.
Brett in the dark taking a stab in the dark.
Dude, speaking of the dark, I ordered a hoodie and I either forgot or didn't realize this.
Uh-huh.
But I put it on and I forget why I was in the dark. I think I was leaving a room and turned the light off and hadn't opened the door yet. So it
Yeah.
was like pitch black. And I was like, there was something on my arm. And I was like, ugh. And then I realized the hoodie, every design on the hoodie glows in the dark. And I was like, oh, weird. That's sick. Yeah, it was pretty exciting.
Was it in like a lot of sunlight? Like, how did
I
it-
was just in light all day.
Oh, okay.
And then I wore it all day.
Gotcha.
And then it was nighttime.
Yeah.
And then when you turn out the lights and it's nighttime, there's just no light.
Right, that makes sense.
Which is maybe like the best time for something that glows in the dark to glow in the dark.
Right, it's the only time.
It was very cool.
I guess you could do it in the day. You just got to be in a dark room.
I don't even know why it glows in the dark. What am I doing in a hoodie in the dark? Also, it's like a hoodie I'm probably going to wear to shows.
Yeah.
Like it's a Converge and
So
Cave
people
In
will be able to
crossover
see
hoodie.
ya.
But then, like, what if it's a particularly dark show? Like, all the lights go out, and I'm just like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm just like in the
That's
middle of the
actually
crowd,
really cool.
glowing. They'll be like, just some guy in the distance, like, Quody! Thanks, man.
Dude, that's it.
I don't know what its purpose is.
Glow in the dark's cool.
It is cool.
What that's an interesting thought.
Let's go
like,
in the woods.
oh.
I'll lead you somewhere, and you'll follow the logo on my back.
Until it's not glow in the dark anymore.
Yeah,
Then we're
you're
both
right.
lost.
I wonder how long you have. What were you gonna say?
I don't even remember. Oh, what's the purpose of glow in the dark other than that one time it's cool?
I don't know. That's it. It's literally like to go, oh, let's see if it works.
Yep.
And you turn the light off and go, wow.
And then forget about it and never do
Yeah.
it again.
Until one day, like you have someone over who didn't know.
Yep.
And they turn the lights off and they're like, does that glow in the dark? And be like, yeah, pretty cool, huh? Yeah, that's cool. All right.
And
well,
that's it.
Good night. See you tomorrow.
Thanks for hanging out.
That's what glow in the dark is for.
Okay.
That's something I got in 2023.
That was. Yeah. Did you have a good Christmas?
Great. It was great.
We're just reflecting here. This is the whole podcast.
We are. Yeah, it was really good, man. It was 4 days of madness.
Yep.
I had 4 different parties to host or go to.
That's a lot of Christmas.
Yeah, it was excellent.
Yeah.
And nobody was sick this year, which was cool.
Mom was sick.
Oh, yeah, I forgot she was sick because she didn't not do anything.
Right.
She was at all the things.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Bailey was sick too. All right, multiple people were sick. Neither of my kids was sick.
Right.
Which,
I get it, Brett. Your family wasn't sick, so it doesn't matter.
no, I'm just saying because last year I had to take her to like the emergency room the
Yep.
night before.
Her being Sim.
Was it Christmas
Your
Eve?
daughter.
Yeah, my daughter.
Yeah.
Was it Christmas Eve? I think it was the day of Christmas Eve. I had
Yeah.
to take her to, it wasn't the emergency room, it was the urgent care. Those are different. And she had the flu or they
Yep.
thought it was COVID. They didn't know what it was. But you remember we came here and she was opening presents and she was like, thank you so much.
She was just a lump on the couch the whole time.
Thank you. Yeah, just walking out with a pile of presents like a zombie. Thank you so much. Merry
That's what she was.
My friend Nick asked me the other day what the most obscure reference was
Mm-hmm.
that I mention sometimes, and I said it's that.
You think so?
I feel like
It is. I
because
mean,
even Resident Evil fans, how many people know that?
probably not many. I mean, we've heard it enough where it's imprinted into our brains.
Yeah.
But I mean, how many other noises do the zombies make?
No, I know not many, which is why it sticks out to us and why it's so funny.
Yeah.
I would love you guys to comment if you're watching on YouTube what the most obscure references that you spit out from time to time.
Because true, if you just shot out like, yeah, in a group
I know
of people,
exactly what you're doing.
no one will get it.
No.
Because it's not even like a quote. You know,
No,
people are like,
it's
oh,
not-
he must be
it's
quoting
not-
a movie or
It's
something.
a sound. It's just a sound.
That's funny. You might be right.
And like there's a lot of obscure ones from Turtles that I'll do.
Yeah.
But I know at least 3 or 4 people. Well, no. Probably 5 or 6 actually.
I only know them because you say them so
Yeah.
often.
Well, dude, like Rach knows all the quotes now. You do, and I've met other Turtles fans or have known enough that
Yeah.
like I can say something like bad timing or pork rind and they know exactly what I'm saying. I don't know anyone but you
Yeah.
who knows what I'm doing when I go, That's so weird.
Now, what makes it an inside joke versus a reference? Like, because an inside joke is a reference, but only between 2 people. Is that an inside joke between us?
I guess it is, but it's not. We're not like gatekeeping it.
Right.
It's an inside
Anybody's
joke, but
allowed
anybody
to
you can
do
come
it.
in if you want.
Yeah.
You just have to know what's going on, or you don't, and you'll just be confused.
Yeah.
But it's only an inside joke because one of us did it.
Yep.
And the other one recognized what it was and thought it was funny. There's nothing to it other than that.
No, we just make the noise they make in the game.
Like explain what it is, and like someone's like, "Why'd you make that noise?" and are laughing.
it is a zombie groaning from Resident Evil.
Is it the first one or the second one?
They might recycle them and use it in both.
God, I hope they do. I want it in all the remakes.
It
I want
actually might be in 3 as well.
no way. Oh. It's that one. I don't know why that one's like.
But there's also like the
and just the shuffling, just like.
dude. It's so good.
Yeah. Speaking of 2023.
Yeah.
How about that game that came out 40 years ago?
Oh, I was like, what are you talking about?
Resident Evil, dude.
Dude, Resident Evil.
What was that, 95?
Resident Evil 4 came out this year.
Yeah. it did.
Remake.
Did we even say what we're going to do?
Well, we're gonna now.
I can't remember. We're
Yeah.
going to talk about our favorite things from this past year, being in keep up fashion. Some of the stuff may be stuff that just came out this year, but some
Yes.
of the stuff may also just be stuff that we ourselves personally experienced this year.
Right. Because
Right?
nothing makes your year more yearly than spending time doing things not from that year.
That's right. That's right. I think I agree.
Are these
And
lights flickering again?
I don't know.
Okay.
Now that I'm staring directly at them, it feels like it,
My
but
retinas.
we'll have to check the video after and see.
Also, if you guys notice my eye and it looks weird, don't worry about it.
I bet nobody did until right now they're zooming
They're
in.
like, what's going on?
is
Yeah,
that?
a couple days ago, my eye was like super itchy on New Year's Eve, and I itched it more than I probably should have. And the next morning, I woke up and it was like puffed up.
I hate puffy eyes.
Yeah, so it was, but it would do this thing where it was like my eyelid was like halfway down, and if I like tried to really open up my eyes, it wouldn't move. It looked like I got like a shot of Novocaine in my eye or
It
something.
just sounds so annoying. Like
Yeah.
I feel like you could feel it.
It honestly wasn't too bad because
That's good,
I
that's
had a
good.
sty in my left eye last year, and that was brutal.
Yeah.
Itchy, painful, sucked.
And you just have to ignore it.
Yeah, that's the way you get rid of it, by doing nothing. So
Yeah.
that's what I've been doing with this eye. And it might be better now, but the other day I like tried to open my eyes and it was like it was weird.
That is weird.
But if you notice it, don't worry about it.
If you notice it, don't notice it.
Yeah.
But you should notice us on social media platforms at the Keep Up Podcast. And if you want to get some extra bonuses, you can go to patreon.com/thekeepup.
The keep up.
You can hang out with us there.
Yeah, our most recent Patreon releases included both our mother
Yep.
and challenges she made for us.
Yeah.
And she
It was awful.
it was awful.
Yeah.
I liked the first one. I didn't like the other one.
Yeah, that was okay.
Yeah.
Second one was
But if you want to
a
hear her
nightmare.
laugh,
And you do.
and you do,
You
she
do.
she goes off for a minute at one point. It's wild. But that's all on Patreon.
That's all on Patreon, patreon.com/thekeepup.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, what's the first thing we're going into? Let's get this show on the road.
How's the podcast organized? TV first?
TV first.
Yeah, I didn't have anything in tech. Is
I
there
don't either.
new tech? Not that I have on my list, so it doesn't matter.
Let's go to TV.
TV Puppet Pals.
Television. Are you doing? What are we even doing? Is this like your favorite? We're just talking about things we really liked.
Yeah,
I already
just-
said what it is. Everybody, pay attention,
Yeah.
and maybe you won't have so many questions.
I would say most of my list is actually things from 2023.
What a doofus.
That was more on me that I kind of just was making the list, and I'm like, this is what I liked this year.
Yeah.
That being said,
There's nothing wrong with that, Tim.
No. I would say the show that probably, because I didn't watch a lot of shows this year.
Okay.
Watched like a handful, some anime. I will say I was pretty excited that Attack on Titan finished.
Yeah, that was a big one.
That was more of like a long time coming as like a really like highlight of shows
Yeah.
I've watched. But it was good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
That was pretty high up there. But the show that captivated me, that was my favorite this year, Last of Us.
Oh, The Last of Us.
They did it so good.
Yeah, they did.
Mm-hmm.
Was that finished this year?
Yeah, came out this year, finished this year.
What? How did I thought I...
You missed it, Brett.
No, but I watched it all. Why is it not on my list?
I don't know. You watched it all? I didn't know you watched it.
Yeah, I watched it all.
I didn't remember.
What?
Did we talk about it on the podcast?
I didn't put it on my list. You did. I think.
Yeah, I
can't
must
remember.
have.
I think you did, but I hadn't finished it.
Okay.
I don't know, man. How have we not? Are we stuck in a time loop?
This is the time Brett's editing his list live. He's like, "What's on my list?"
I'm just looking at like the order because I keep a list every year of all the things that I watch.
Yes.
And I sometimes go back. Like I was just looking at my movie list, and I don't know. Movies is always my biggest category. I watched 147 this year.
Damn.
And I was going through some of them I don't even like recognize. The
remember,
titles.
yeah.
I did discover that most of the ones I don't recognize are old Jean-Claude Van Damme movies that I went back and watched. But yeah, I don't see The Last of Us on here. That's a great call.
Yes.
The show was incredible.
Yeah, it really the big question was like, are they going to go way off from the game? Are they going to do their own thing? And they did a wonderful blend of both doing their own thing, but also really following very close to the story.
Yeah,
because it is so cinematic and so like it felt like a movie or show to begin with, anyway. So
yeah, you don't need to deviate a lot. And
no.
like you said, when they did, it was like a nice blend. It wasn't anything that made you angry. It was like, why would they do that? And I really loved the post episode sort of like reflection on making like the making of.
Yeah.
I loved that. And I think that actually helped a little bit with like, I don't think it had been long enough since I'd played the game that there were some things where I was like, I don't remember if they did that in the game.
Yep.
And then they would do the making of portion right after every single episode. If you haven't watched it yet, make sure you stay and watch that. And they would be like, in the game it was this, or they would even like say, I wouldn't realize the same voice actor came back to do the live action performance.
They would like play the character and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, that's cool.
That stuff was so cool. Yeah, all around it was a great experience. Really good show.
It hit me in the right place.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, as far as everything else, I missed all the Marvel shows.
I did too. I watched a couple that I was like catching up on What If and I Am Groot, like a couple little things.
Yeah,
like
I think that was like the only one was like the Groot. But I'm watching Loki now.
Oh, are you?
Trying to catch up on
Season
Loki.
2 or?
Season 2, yeah.
Okay, cool. I got to do that too.
Yeah, because I was just thinking like what other staples of shows. And there's a lot. I mean, I finished Onimusha and that was great.
That's a great one.
Yep. I still got to watch Blue Eye Samurai.
Yep.
I feel like that's incredible.
You didn't start it?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Yep. But that's my TV.
Yep.
Yep.
Just watch that first episode.
I know.
And then also the rest of it.
And everything.
Did
After
I know
Loki.
you finished Onimusha?
I did it like a couple days ago, so no.
I don't think I knew.
No.
You enjoyed it overall?
Yes.
Oh, we got to talk about the ending.
Yeah.
One show I have on here, I watched it earlier this year. It did not come out this year. And I can't say too much about it, but Behind Her Eyes was one that I watched earlier this year.
Yeah, I watched that one too.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Loved that.
good.
I think I said too much when I talked about it before, so I'm going to say even less now. But it is a great show. If I remember correctly, it's 6 episodes. It's on Netflix.
British drama.
Yeah, and it is so good. And all I will say is if you just watch the whole thing, no matter what, watch the whole thing. If it feels like a genre that's not for you, shut up and you watch the whole thing.
Ride it out.
Ride it out. One show that got added to my probably annual watches is Over the Garden Wall. I'd never seen it. This is my first year watching it.
That's a good year for it.
I watched it twice back to back. So, those are great. And then the only other one I was going to call out, there was I watched Midnight Club this year.
Oh, yep.
And more recently, The Fall of the House of Usher. Big Mike Flanagan fan, and I really enjoyed that. And the biggest one that I'd forgot about that when I was looking through my list, I was like, yo, that might have been like one of my top viewings, was Castlevania Nocturne.
Oh, yes.
It was so good.
It was incredible.
And it brought me back to when Castlevania initially released, and I don't want to retread too much because probably all of these are going to be things we already talked about last year, but it was just so much fun, and I didn't want to stop watching it, and I can't wait for more. That's got to be one of my favorite animated series. Like, I'll put that and Castlevania together.
Yeah. I definitely liked Castlevania more.
Sure.
But Castlevania Nocturne was amazing.
Dude, that one moment?
Dude. I mean, okay, I will.
Come on, dude.
It definitely has its moments that rival, if not exceed, what Castlevania did.
Yeah.
But it stands on the shoulders of Castlevania. You need Castlevania to enjoy the really good moments more. I feel like.
I think so. I would agree.
At
I would
least
agree.
The one moment.
I think if Nocturne came out alone, we would be like, this is incredible.
Yes,
but having the whole experience of Castlevania, watching Nocturne just made me want to go back and watch Castlevania again.
Yep.
Like, it's so good. So that was just really exciting to get more of that. And then, like you said, Onimusha was really good. A lot of good stuff. I think Nocturne was probably one of the top viewing experiences for me. Although a milestone, I did finally finish Buffy.
Oh, long
And finishing
coming.
Buffy was a really cool thing.
That's like a lifetime goal of yours.
I know, dude. I can't believe I had no idea what happened at the end of it. There were so many episodes and arcs I just knew nothing about. So it just feels cool to have finally gone through all of it.
You have Buffy under your belt.
I have the knowledge. Yeah, man. So pretty good year with TV stuff. Pretty fun.
Yeah, pretty good.
Pretty fun, pretty good.
Yeah, pretty fun, good.
But I don't know if it can beat what happened in movies.
Let's go.
Ooh, let's go to the movies.
This year was wild.
Godzilla!
Okay, so I was thinking.
Yes.
There's another thing that makes it feel like, okay, I don't know if this means the year flew by or if it feels like it was forever.
Yeah.
But you remember what else came out this year?
Spider-Man.
What?
Across the Spider-Verse.
Oh my gosh, I forgot
How
about
could
that.
you forget?
Because I was thinking of Turtles.
Oh, Turtles! That's actually on my list.
Is it?
Turtles made my list.
Dude, so I had when you mentioned doing this kind of episode, I immediately was like, Godzilla. Done.
Godzilla.
And then I
right?
was like, oh my gosh, Mutant Mayhem was this year.
Do you think it's recency bias for Godzilla, or
It's possible, but
it was so freaking good?
yeah, it was so good.
I can't, I've seen a good handful of movies this year in the theaters, but nothing did to me what Godzilla did to me.
And you know what's wild about that?
Yeah, except for Spider-Man.
Oppenheimer was this year too.
I didn't see it in the theaters.
I did.
I saw it at home. I've seen it.
Yeah.
I have since seen it.
You see Barbie?
I did see Barbie.
Okay, because those were the other two that I was like, shoot, those were this year too.
Yeah.
This year was wild for movies.
It was a pretty good year.
I think I was trying to think of like what was my best experience. I loved all of the, looking back, I kind of loved all the discussion around Barbie, and I loved finally seeing it and forming my own opinion about it.
Because it was strangely controversial.
It was. I know.
It's because all the dumb people are saying dumb things.
Yeah, it's just silly. I after watching it, I was like, I feel bad for the people who don't get what's going on here.
Yeah.
It's just, and I don't mean that in like a pretentious way. I just mean like,
Oh, I do.
I feel Tim does. I feel like it was just so much fun, and there were actually some really, really cool, just really positive themes throughout the whole thing. So I enjoyed that, and then Oppenheimer was an insane theater experience. I saw it in this really cool little like artsy theater downtown near my house.
It's Nolan.
I know it's Nolan. And but I had to think about like what was my best theater experience.
Yep.
And two of my favorite franchises had theater releases.
And that first time watching Turtles, you can't beat it.
I don't think I can beat that.
It was so
Godzilla was mind blowing.
Yep.
But
you thought Turtles was.
They both made me cry. Actually, I teared up at Turtles because I was just like, I can't believe this is happening.
This is a real thing you're watching.
We met a new friend.
New friend.
Mikey.
His name was a turtle.
I think he was a turtle.
In disguise. What if it was really Michelangelo just hanging out watching his own
Oh
movie?
man, no way. He couldn't hide that long. He'd reveal himself because he'd want to party with us.
Yeah. The only other one on my list, TMNT, Mutant Mayhem, Spider-Man, Godzilla. Spider-Man was incredible. We didn't talk about it much.
Yeah, that was
at this moment, but
I think I've still that and No Way Home I've still only seen once each,
yes,
which feels like a tragedy.
it really does with how like crazy awesome these movies are. But it's one of those things where it's like it was so good that one time that I still don't need a refresher.
I know.
Like it's so imprinted into my brain.
Yeah.
I did turn on Spider-Man the other day because I got new lights for my TV that like there's a camera that
I
angles.
saw that. That's crazy.
It's so cool. I had to show you after.
It changes the lights behind Tim's TV based on what's on the screen.
Yeah.
I can't believe how well it matches the colors.
It's insane. I didn't think it was gonna because setting it up was a nightmare.
Oh, really?
And I didn't think it was gonna work because it basically like you put these little like blocks on the side of your TV, but I only saw half my TV, so I was like, how the heck are they gonna do it? Because the camera like it's weird. But anyways, all that to say, it's incredible.
Yeah.
And with Spider-Man, the colors like at the beginning.
Oh my gosh.
When Gwen's on the drums and it's like given everything like the whole story. The color. I thought my TV was gonna blow up. The colors. It's a game changer.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll talk about those next week.
Wait, does it work with games?
Oh, it works with games. That's cool. That's so cool.
That's very cool.
But the only other movie I got to bring up because I was like floored with how much I enjoyed it was Nimona.
Oh shoot! I still haven't watched that. You loved that, huh?
Freaking love that movie.
Yeah, you love that movie.
It was so fun. It was so intense. Nimona was like, she's probably my character of the year. I loved her.
Really?
She was fun and goofy, but also like tragic. It's awesome.
Really got to see that movie.
Yeah, throw it on your list. It's like the Puss in Boots of my 2023.
Oh, that was another one I watched this year. The second one.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was it called?
Nimona or the Puss in Boots: The Last Wish.
The Last Wish.
Yeah. I would throw it on my list every year if I could. I freaking love that movie.
Yeah, it is very, very
I didn't
good.
watch it this year, though. I watched it last year. Or 2022.
2022. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. We can't just say last year anymore. Oh,
Yes.
I feel like I got to give it a shout out because it blew my mind. Pearl was one of my favorite movies I saw this year. I just was like, just so enthralled.
But, Brett, what about X? The super necessary movie to watch, Pearl.
Tim said it. I don't even have to explain it. Thank you for clarifying. Thank
You're
you for
welcome.
clearing that up.
I wanted people to know. Pearl was like, I was blown away, especially after seeing X.
Yeah.
I had very little faith in Pearl. Because I just didn't really
you
like
need X to lower your expectations.
That's what it was. And then Pearl smacks
X is a
you.
good slasher. I don't get it, bro.
Cobweb was good.
Cobweb was good. That was a surprising. I would say that was one of my best
Like
horror
sleeper,
experiences. Yeah, because it came out of nowhere, and I was like, "All right, this was very good."
Yeah, when the creature shows up.
Let me scroll through my list real quick, see if there's anything else I missed. Of course, I watched.
Mario Brothers came out.
Oh, that was this year.
That was last year.
That was 2023.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Is that crazy? I'm pretty sure. Hold on, now I got to double check.
Wait, was Evil Dead Rise this?
I think it
2023?
was. That didn't make my list.
It
but-
must be because I've only seen it once and I have it on here.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
How
that
could
was
you
another
forget-
crazy. 3 of my favorite franchises this year in
Wow,
theaters.
it was your year.
We said it was our year.
It
Too.
really was.
I guess I really meant it.
Yeah. Yeah, Evil Dead 2023, Super Mario Brothers.
I also saw The Meg 2 in theaters with the kids because
That-
they loved The Meg so much.
Dude, get it off the
did you
list.
did you come?
No.
No.
No,
Oh
I
my
didn't
gosh,
see
dude!
it.
It was the funniest theater experience. They freaking
Weren't you guys
loved
by
it.
yourself?
Yeah, there was like no one in there. I
Yeah.
think we might have literally been by
The
ourselves.
only people.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mario came out 2023. And that was good. I had a really good time with that.
Yeah. Another one, I don't know if you. Oh, this one too. Yeah, sorry, I wanted to respond to that more. Yeah, Mario was surprisingly good. I did not expect it to be as good as it was.
It was tough because it was.
That was your Turtles, I feel like. You watched it right away
Yes.
afterwards.
Yes, I did immediately
You watched
watch
it twice. I have Turtles back to back, and I just remembered. You're like, I went home and
I literally watched it that night.
watched it that night somehow.
So, by the magic of television.
Yeah.
Yep, because it's on TV.
Yeah, they just were running it on cable.
They're like, wow, you saw it in the theater? You get it on TV.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was.
What a deal.
What a deal. But yeah, that was like, yeah, I agree. That was like my Turtles of the year. That it
Yeah.
was just I was so impacted by it. Impacted?
Yeah,
That's
sure.
okay.
Impacted is good.
Yeah, I feel like there's a different word I want to
I was
use.
so
I was so enamored.
enamored with it.
Yeah.
Touched by an angel.
That also,
Yeah,
too.
right.
Anyways, what else?
Felt the same way. Extraction 2
Yes.
was just a quick action movie shout out.
Mm-hmm.
That movie ruled.
Yep.
Had like a 20-minute action scene.
Which is, the best reason to watch it.
It absolutely is.
When Evil Lurks.
When Evil Lurks. I would say that and Cobweb.
Mm-hmm.
Probably my top 2 horror movies.
Horror movies?
Well,
Yeah.
and Evil Dead Rise. I really liked Evil Dead Rise.
I don't even think I put Evil Dead Rise in my top 3. I thought it was good.
Horror
but
movies?
Yeah. Of the year.
What else did you see this year?
Saw
Oh,
X.
I didn't see Saw.
Oh,
Remember Zombie Town? That movie sucked.
oh, dude, that better than Evil Dead all day.
Shut up. Guardians 3 came out.
Yep. Oh, that was 2023?
Yeah, man. Yeah, it was. I think that was April or something like that. And then we saw the new Mission Impossible.
Yes.
I was on a tear in the theater. I saw Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning Part 1, Oppenheimer, Barbie, Turtles.
Dude, relax.
I couldn't. I couldn't. I was practicing in the theater to make sure I watched Turtles good.
Yep.
And then I went 2 days in a row before it was even officially released. Remember, they were both like pre-screenings.
Yeah,
or whatever. We
no-
went to, yeah, dude, what a great year.
It was a good year for movies.
Hell House LLC. I got a bunch of stuff on here,
Dude,
but
you have
yeah,
147 movies.
yeah, 100. I just read the whole list.
It's like, how about this one?
Yeah, I think I have to put my top experience with Turtles. Just seeing that in the theater was so cool.
Yep.
Godzilla is definitely one of my favorite movies of the year. And then there were certainly some surprises in there. What would you call your number one, or like give us a couple?
Yeah,
do what
couple-
I did.
I won't say what you put Turtles as number 1 though.
I think it was my number one because it could be argued that I know people who didn't even like it, but it could be argued that it's not like the best movie.
Yeah. But your experience is part of it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like my movie of the year, my experience of the year was seeing this new Turtles movie in the theater.
Yeah.
That was so cool. Godzilla was incredible because I didn't know how it could be as good as everyone was saying. And then when it was, I was like, oh, wow.
I see it now.
I see it.
Yeah,
I better
it lived
see
up to the
again.
hype, and that's
it
a rare
really
thing.
did. Yeah. Best movie of the year, though?
What did I have on my? It's probably Spider-Man. I would say is probably like
Spider-Man, yeah.
objectively the best one that I saw.
I think if I didn't have the Turtles bias that I do,
Yeah.
Spider-Man would, like, I can admit that I think Spider-Man is, I can't even say it.
You can't even finish the sentence.
Turtles is the best.
I think mine would be Spider-Man, Godzilla, Nimona. I think that would be my
Oh, cool.
top 3.
That's a good one.
List. Yeah,
Turtles, Godzilla.
Nimona.
It's close, though. Can I say it? I can't say it.
What would your number 3 be?
Dude, I need a number 3.
Well, you don't. You
Pearl.
said it already.
Pearl.
Pearl.
Yep. That's what it
was
would
great.
be. Yeah, it would be Turtles, Godzilla, Pearl. Which Pearl came out? How long ago did that come out?
2019.
Oh, really? Is it that old?
I think so. I like how you say 2019 is that old.
No, I just mean I didn't see
Actually,
it
Pearl might have been 2022.
because that was like 4 years
Yeah, let's see.
that it was out that I didn't. I wasn't. There were 4 years I could have been watching it. and it wasn't.
2022, yeah.
Oh, it's not even that
Yeah,
bad.
it's not
dude.
even that
It was
old.
almost accurate. It was almost.
Ah!
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I guess that's it for movies.
I think so.
Yeah. What happens after movies?
Video games.
Video games.
How long is your list going to be?
Dude, I have so many games. I kept it contained because I didn't know, like...
Because I have like 2. Because I beat. How many games did you beat?
307.
Yeah, I beat 16.
So I made it easier by only doing games that came out this year. 'Cause
Okay.
there were some games that I beat that were years and years old that should be on the list, but I'll talk about those another
Conversely, I didn't play a single game that came out this year, which is
time.
insane.
It was, there was a lot coming out, and games
Yeah.
are expensive.
true.
And your hands were broken for like 90% of it.
It's very true.
So I'm glad you have any games on there. But what's one? What's
Oh,
one
I'm
you played?
going?
Yeah. You got the shorter list.
So I have 3 that I will mention. One that was definitely my favorite that I played this year.
Yeah.
Ori and the Will of the Wisps. I just beat recently. I loved Ori and the Blind Forest. Thank you so much. I loved Ori and the. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I loved Ori and the Blind Forest so much. I was expecting a 4th one. I don't know why. I loved Ori and the Blind Forest so much, and it's been years since this game. Not only have I not been playing it, it's been out
Yes.
for like
And on Game Pass.
Yeah.
So
I've had it sitting
no
in my
excuse.
like no excuse. So yeah, I just recently played that. I loved it. It's beautiful. I did play Miles Morales this year, which I loved. Got a little more Spider-Man in. But my favorite game that I played this year, and there was just something about the atmosphere and the way it looked and the way the story was told. I loved Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice.
Oh yeah.
I loved it. I couldn't wait to sit down and play more. And I just like when it was over, I was like, oh man, I kind of want more. I love the fighting in it.
It is such a good experience.
Yeah, it is.
Did you play with headphones?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes I did. Yeah. There were a couple. Did I always play? More than most games because it recommended it in the beginning.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I got to do that.
Well, because it's one of those things where there were points where I didn't play with headphones.
Yeah.
And I still visually, or I guess not visually, but I still remember it in my mind as I did because the sound design is just that good.
It's so good.
Like it literally
Yeah.
sounds like it's coming around you just from your TV in front of you. They did incredible at that game.
Yeah, it was great. I loved it. I can't wait to play 2.
Yeah. Hopefully 2024.
Yeah.
I think that's the release date.
Yeah, they've been talking about it for years. so.
Forever. So
Yeah, those were my big ones. And I did replay Alan Wake. I played the remaster for the first time in a long time.
I can't wait to dive into Alan Wake 2.
Oh, man. Yeah.
I haven't done it yet.
You haven't played it yet?
Not yet.
Why did I think you played it?
I don't know. I got it for Christmas, but
Oh, you have it. You just didn't play it.
well, I got money to buy it for Christmas.
Yeah,
and
because
that's
there's
what
no
I did.
physical copies.
No, because they're stupid.
So stupid.
Speaking of not stupid,
Yeah. Wow. What a transition.
what a transition!
Almost
Dude,
perfect.
Potentially one of the greatest years in gaming ever. Ever.
Really?
There were so
You said this was a filler year.
filler year for me.
life.
For life. Not for gaming. Man,
Okay.
I played some of the best things ever.
Wow. All right. What'd you play?
Spider-Man 2.
Yep.
Freaking breathtaking, incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Not my game of the year, but still a game that everyone should play.
Yeah.
Incredible. Armored Core 6. I could not put that freaking game down if I wanted to.
Yeah, you
That
played
was
that a lot.
the big mech robot one.
Why'd you love it so much?
I just loved the combat.
Oh,
It
well,
was so
yeah.
fluid. It was so fast. The customization, the fact that you can have like close range with a sword and a shotgun, or you could have long range with like snipers and laser rifles. It really was super open just to having the most fun one can have in a giant mech.
I love that.
It wasn't too complicated. It did require you to beat it 3 times to get the true ending, and I didn't care. I went through that game 3
did not
times and
care.
I was like, I'm in it. There
Wow.
are different decisions you can make to do different missions, so
Yeah.
there was
Oh,
more
so you did
incentive.
play it all 3?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant like I didn't care to get the ending.
No.
You didn't care that it made you play it
3 times. I
That's
was
even
like,
better.
let's do it again,
You're
baby.
like, oh, good. Not 5? You don't want me to play it 5 more times?
It's like, I'll do it.
I will.
Yep. So it
That's
was,
excellent.
Yeah, it was such a good time.
Cool, man.
From the people who did Elden Ring and Dark Souls, that's from Software. That's who
Yeah,
developed it.
also Kuon.
Oh yeah.
Isn't that
They
weird?
don't- Yeah, they don't make anything other than Dark Souls and Elden Ring and now Armored Core.
And Kuon.
Well, they don't make stuff like Kuon anymore.
They made Kuon.
They did it. They made one of the most expensive rare games of all time.
Wish they'd just send me a copy.
That's it. From Software.
Maybe they did. I still don't know how I got the copy.
It's
I have.
true. Who knows?
very strange.
The ghost of Kuon. I don't think I'd keep that game, Brett.
Maybe that's why I keep having all these ailments. Maybe I have a cursed game in my house.
It's like you feel it. Is there any part with hands in the game?
Maybe.
All I can think of is the little peephole you look through.
That's all I always think of that.
Because it's such a good jump scare.
I want to get a tattoo of that moment, but only if it can move and jump scare people who look at it.
You have to. You know what it is? The QR code. Get a QR code, and then people will be like, "Oh, what's this?" And it's just the jump scare video.
That's great.
Resident Evil 4 remake.
Yeah.
The game that had nobody knew what it was going to be like.
Yeah.
If it was going to be as good, if it was going to be better, if they were going to tarnish the name of Resident Evil 4,
Name.
and they didn't.
They didn't tarnish it.
They didn't. It is. I don't think it's better, but it's just as good as what Resident Evil 4 was.
That's good. I feel like that is better is hard to do. Like that's funny. I don't know if I've thought about it like that, which is weird because it seems like the obvious way to think of it. But how do you liked Resident Evil 2 remake?
Yes.
Would you say it's better than the original?
Probably.
Yeah.
I think I really like to. You know, I view all these games as different because they are so
too.
like drastically different from
No.
each other.
Like 1, I love the remake of 1.
Yes.
But can I say it's better? I mean, 1 is like...
1, the problem with 1 is it's definitely dated.
Shut up.
But it's not.
No, it is. It is.
But I could play that any day of the week
That's
because
what-
I grew up playing it.
Right.
I think it's very difficult to introduce people to the first Resident Evil.
I was just reading something about that the other day. I didn't realize how angry people get about tank controls.
Tank controls, there is a like massive amount of people out there who are
Yeah.
like, I will not play a game that has tank controls.
There's an age cutoff somewhere where they start insulting you and calling you old if
Yeah.
you like can play any PS1 game. Basically,
It's-
they're like, I will jump off a building before I play a game with a fixed camera angle.
It's like, what do you mean?
I know, dude. They all had it.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like it was a blip in the history of games. Like,
Yep.
there were so many. I mean, maybe it wasn't the grand scheme, but there were
Wow.
so many of them.
So many.
Every Capcom game, basically.
Even up to PS2. I mean, the first Devil May Cry.
Yep, that's what I was just thinking of.
Yep. Onimusha,
Mm-hmm.
same thing. Like, they didn't start going until Resident Evil 4 is when third-person games started, like, not having fixed camera angles.
Right.
There were games before that, of course, but Resident Evil 4 really reinvented it.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I don't even know where. Oh, Resident Evil 4. I was
Yeah,
like, how
4.
did we get here?
Yeah.
But yeah, Resident Evil 4 really blew my socks off.
Yeah.
It did everything we wanted it to, and
Mm-hmm.
then some. And I was just so impressed.
And as good is that's a feat.
Yes, that I think that's what I wanted. I didn't want it to be better than 4 because
Yeah.
4 to me is like the perfect game.
It's so good.
It's like I play it yearly. I've done it in VR. I've done it like on my phone. I've done
I
it every
just-
which way you can do it.
Yeah, you have covered pretty much every base.
Yeah.
I just pictured a sequence and I immediately want to play it so badly.
Yeah.
It's like I just want a controller to appear in my hand and I
Yeah.
want to play it. It's so great. I've played that one, I think, 4 times too.
Yeah, it's so easy just to go through it.
Played it on GameCube, played the PlayStation one.
Yep. Then they re-released it on 360.
That's
and
the
Xbox
last one.
They
Yeah.
released it.
Yep.
Yeah. So
When-
Resident Evil 4 was like,
Yeah,
The
that
remake.
was a big one this year. I started Village, but I
Yep. Oh.
haven't finished it yet. No, wait, not Village.
7.
Biohazard. My bad. Yeah, and I'm loving it so far, but I can't put it on the list because I didn't get to finish it.
Yeah, it's tough when you don't finish games. It's a tough thing.
That it is, Tim.
All right,
That
I
it
got
is.
2 games left.
Yeah, what do you got?
The Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh, that was the fan made game,
So
or is it just an indie title? Like,
yeah, it's officially released by Sega, but it's a group of
so weird.
group of fans made the game.
Yeah.
But Sega like officially released it as their April Fool's joke.
Oh, right.
And it ended up being one of the best pieces of Sonic media from last year.
so funny.
It was funny. It was charming. There's a
Yeah.
lot of love for the characters in the universe.
We love that.
It was a good story. Like they could have really just made it a 30-minute like haha April Fool's joke, but they
Yeah.
made a full adventure game out of it.
That is pretty cool.
And I loved it. And this is my Sonic bias coming in. Sonic music. I didn't make that one too much of a secret this year.
I somehow still
podcast.
didn't see it coming.
Well, I guess if you're not expecting it.
I was really into your description of the game.
Of the game. But yeah, and it's free. I mean, you can't really beat free. Anybody could go and play it and download it.
How can you beat free if it came with money? I guess.
If they paid you to
Yeah.
play it. But yeah, it's great. But all those games pale in comparison.
You saved the best for last.
The best for last. I could not believe how my life changed after playing this game.
What?
It was mind-boggling. And worst of all, I've only played it once.
Well, it's not like you didn't play 306 other games.
It's
so.
true. But I beat it in one sitting, and it's still my game of the year after all this time. I think I played in like February too, so it's not a recent thing.
February. And it came out this year?
I believe it came out in January. Let me see. I've talked about it
It's not the Dead Space remake.
No, that was good too, but no.
Game of the year. I can't remember.
Game's freaking
One
wonderful.
sitting.
One sitting. Yeah, it came out 4 days after my birthday.
That tracks.
Yep.
You were like, it's my birthday. I'm going to play this nonstop until it's over.
And it's not something that you would expect. It's not like a remake. It's not like a new sequel or anything.
I can't remember.
It's an indie game. Came out of the blue. I heard a lot about it.
Sure.
Pizza Tower.
I literally don't even know what that is. I've never heard you say those words. I don't know what that is.
I hope I talked about it on the podcast.
Did you?
I better have.
It does not sound
Well,
familiar.
if I didn't, here's the time. Pizza Tower is like it's incredible. It's incredible. So imagine the art style. It's made from like Microsoft Paint, but really well done. It's not like bad, but it's definitely Microsoft Paint style. Or it's you just got to look it up. Look up Pizza Tower.
I love that.
But this game is basically a spiritual successor to Wario Land.
Oh, I think I do remember you telling me that.
Yeah, it's essentially it puts you in the level and you have to run to the end and just do whatever the objective is, because the levels get kind of weird and there's different things that happen. But once you complete the objective, you then have to run back to the beginning of the level and a time limit starts because the whole area is blowing up.
What?
So it's the reward of remembering how you got to where you got, while also the pressure of the time limit coming in. And your character runs at like Sonic light speed, so you got that fun addictive gameplay. There's collectibles, there's secrets, there's horror, there's bosses, there's again, the art is something that just like is so dumb and goofy.
Yeah.
But I loved every new area I went into. I was like, this is beautiful for my eyes.
That does sound like all the things I want in a game.
All the things everybody loves.
That's pretty cool.
But yeah, the speed was great. It was truly, I can't think of many other games that I had such a fun time with than Pizza Tower.
That's the one, huh?
It was so good.
Pizza Tower. And where did you play? Is it a PC game?
Yeah, PC only as of right now. I don't know if it has plans for consoles yet, but if I'll get it, if it goes on consoles.
Are you going to play it again?
I'll play it again.
How long was it to beat?
It took me 8.5 hours.
Oh, that's a fun little sit down.
Yeah.
A nice little
it was like a long stream. I was just like, I'll do half now, half another time, and I couldn't put it down.
A little work day.
Yeah. Full day of work playing Pizza Tower.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of other games I could mention, but for the sake of this podcast, I won't go on any longer.
That's a good year of games.
Yeah. And I still haven't even played everything.
No, this was a big year. And with big titles like Spider-Man and stuff, it's tough when 5 to 10 AAA titles come out that are going to be like 40 to 60 hours.
Yep.
And it's like you could literally just take those games and you might
that'll be a year for some people.
Unless you stream professionally, you might not be able to
actually
make through all of it. It was a good year. I'm excited to see. I'm excited to play more games this year. Catch up on some stuff. I'm hoping to catch up on all the Resident Evils I haven't played yet, which right now is Biohazard, Village, and the 4 remake. I think that's it. And there was something else. I want to play Alan Wake 2.
Yep.
And I want to get back to playing through the Silent Hills because I really wanted to do 1 through 4 last year.
Do you think Silent Hill 2 is coming out this year? The remake?
No, man. I don't know. And, that kind of reminds me only peripherally that I also want to play, what is the...
Death Stranding.
Yeah. Did you play it yet?
No. It's Nick still to this day is haunting me about it. It's his favorite game ever.
It is?
Yeah, he loves it. From my understanding,
I do have very similar taste to Nick.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
So from my understanding, you either hate it or you love it. It is so polarizing because the gameplay apparently is just delivery. You have a backpack and you're climbing over stuff, delivering things.
Tim, we've established it is better to give gifts than to receive them. A whole game of giving?
And it's Kojima. So that's not the only thing there is to it.
Of course not. Yeah. So I think that's on my list for this year, too. I'd really like to play that.
I have to, because Nick's been asking me seriously for 5 years.
Maybe we should start it at the same time. It can't be super expensive, I feel like.
No, I mean, I have it. But
Oh, you have it?
Yeah, I have it.
But I need a copy.
Yeah. Maybe you can borrow mine after I beat it.
Dang, dude.
Yeah. I think it's if you have the PS Plus essential thing.
Oh.
Or not essential, the whatever the second one up is, where you can it's like the Game Pass of PlayStation. I believe you can get it on that.
I have something. I can't remember which one it is. But
I think I have just the basic one because I was playing everything on Game Pass. So I'm like, I'll get to you someday, PlayStation. I'll catch up.
Yeah, I know. It's a lot to keep up with. I am going to take us into music.
Is that what's next in the list?
What else would be?
Books and comics? That's after music?
I think so. We just
Okay.
never do music and podcasts.
Yeah, let's do it.
What are you listening to?
We don't get to visit this section as often as I
No.
would like.
And I want to start this section by saying, let's go to books and comics. It was a joke, but Brett was ready for it.
I paused it. I stopped the recording and everything.
No, don't. It was a false transition.
Oh my gosh.
No, one of my goals of this year is
Yeah.
I want to listen to at least one new album a week.
Oh, I love that.
Tackle something, because we never talk about music.
Yeah.
You're a huge music guy.
I am.
I don't embrace it, and I want to listen to more music.
Do you want to come up with a plan? Like, do you want to pick something and tell me what you're listening to, and I'll listen to it as well?
Yes, there's a good chance you probably heard it all, because
Sure.
I don't really know what I want to go for.
So here's my problem.
Mm-hmm.
Today alone,
Yes.
I went through like 8 different phases of like, I just want to listen to like random rock bands from the 90s and see what those albums sounded like.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I haven't listened to No Doubt in way too long. I need to listen to their whole discography. And like all in a day. I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm going to do that. And then what I really did was watch like YouTube videos about music. And I've also
The
been
history of the bands.
yeah. And I've also been incredibly, I don't even know if we have time to talk about it. I have been so infatuated with Creed in the past like week, dude.
You're a freak.
I forget what
You went
triggered
from
it.
butt rock to
Butt rock again. No,
Right.
first it was just like 90s rock, like
Yep.
like radio rock stuff, like Tonic. Like you remember that song? It's like what's it called? Breakfast at Tiffany's. I think
Yes.
it's Tonic. No, that's Deep Blue Something is the name of the band.
but I know Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Yeah. I said, what about
Breakfast at Tiffany's?
Yeah. I think Tonic was the, it's something about like, if you could only see the way she loves me, maybe you would understand. You know that song?
No.
Tim's a little too young. You don't know that song?
I don't think so.
Bunch of random radio bands. Anyways.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I was watching this YouTube video and they were talking about these death metal bands, and it reminded me of like 2 other ones that I had meant to listen to. The point is, my brain's like, pew, choo, 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 and I can't. I'm like, one record is an hour long sometimes, so I'm like, I don't have the time. And then a lot of times I'll just listen to like every band I listened to in high school, but I'll get reminded of a genre and I'll be like, yeah, I do want to go through the entire history of West Coast hip hop. Like,
Why
that's
not?
what I'll do today, It's so funny.
But
So
your job definitely lends to you being able to listen to
Right.
a ton of music.
doing a
while
lot
you're
of
doing stuff.
driving.
Yep.
Anytime I work out, I'm listening to music. I have been running some audiobooks lately and always keeping up on podcasts. But yeah, I think that's a really cool goal for you. And if you're ever looking for something to listen to, you could throw me your mood and I'll get
like,
something
Brett,
your way.
give me
I'll
something.
be like, let's do this album.
Let's do it this week.
Dude,
so.
the rabbit holes are insane. And like the Creed thing, dude.
Yeah.
I forget. I think he did it was in his interview with Scott Stapp's interview with Theo Vaughn, I think is what sparked it. And Scott Stapp's recovery, like his recovery story is out of control cool. Like inspiring. It's insane. That dude's life has been wild. But I found out that like the guitarist has like a whole record where he's just singing Frank Sinatra songs with the surviving members of Frank Sinatra's orchestra.
What? How did that come to be?
I don't know, dude. And then like just crazy stuff I just
Yeah.
been on. And anyways, what are we talking about? Yeah, so 1 album a week. Do you
So-
have a genre in mind or just like
No, I feel like I want to hit things that are important,
yeah.
but things that aren't like old or boring.
Yeah.
So like I want to, things I want to listen to some modern stuff. I want to listen to some like, maybe skip the 70s because we all know how I feel about that. But maybe like 80s, 90s, work
So
my
you
way
feel the
up.
same way about 70s music as you do about
The
film?
70s is just a time that I don't want to be around. If I have a time machine
You weren't.
and it goes to the 70s, I won't go.
You pass.
I'll just be like,
You're like, a time machine? You guys should know if you don't that time travel is Tim's like favorite
I
thing
love
ever.
time travel.
So if you were offered, like, Tim, I finally figured it out. You're like, when can we leave? And I'll be like, now, but we can only go to the 70s. You're like, I'm just going to go eat lunch and play video games.
tell me what happens. Dude, the 70s, they're dirty.
There's good stuff in the 70s, though, music-wise.
What do you got?
Zeppelin.
Who?
Led Zeppelin.
The Hindenburg? What? No.
Maybe that'll be the goal. I just try to introduce you to 70s music that's worth listening to.
You should send me music and not tell me when it's from, and I'll.
Oh, yeah, I will. I'm not going to be including dates if I know you're immediately biased to anything in a certain
70s,
decade.
I'm like, ugh.
So
disgusting.
you want to like, is this like an educational thing for you?
Yeah, and I definitely like, because I don't know what genres like I love. Like I enjoy a lot of different stuff. I jump all over the place.
You like guitar a lot.
I do like guitar.
That's what I've noticed is even like the crazy heavy or technical bands I've shown you, that stands out to you.
Yeah, that's usually what I hear. Like I don't ever like, I can't dissect drums. It always just sounds like to me.
Yeah, drummers are big dumb idiots. So
is that the case, Brett?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't got an ear for it.
I don't think enough people have context for that joke.
No, it's an inside joke.
I play drums.
Yeah, Brett's a drummer. But yeah, so it'll be fun because I am curious, like what I really like, and I always gravitate towards the 90s. That's like if there's music I want to listen to, early 2000s, late 90s. That's like
that's funny that we have that same because that I think like 97 to 2007, probably that decade.
That's music to me,
dude. Me too, and in every genre.
Yes.
It's my favorite pop music. It's my favorite metal and punk.
Yeah.
It's my favorite hardcore.
Yeah, rap sounds
my
good to
favorite
me.
rap. Like
all of that music from that time, that sound is so just like good to me.
Yeah.
And everything like later, I can even go as far as like 2010 because I was a teenager around that time, like a early mid-teen. So I know I was listening to a lot of music just in general because that's what you do as a teen.
Totally.
But yeah, so all that to say, music. I want to listen to more music because I feel like I'm just not well versed in it.
Dude,
and everyone
you.
loves music.
What I can do if this is maybe I won't. Maybe I don't spoil it for you. I was gonna say like I dissect everything. Like when I listen to a record, I'm like, even if it's a genre I don't really like, I could usually be like, or an artist I'm not like a huge fan of. Sometimes I'll go through their discography to figure out like what is it that people. And sometimes I'll come out of. I didn't finish that sentence, but I feel like you know what I'm saying. Sometimes I'll come out of that and be like, I actually really like this band now because like I get what people get from
what
it.
they're going for.
So I was gonna say like I could send you a record and be like, here's what I love about this. But maybe I just give it to you and see what you think
and
first.
Just go through.
You know what I mean?
Hey, I'm fine because I could listen to multiple in a week, but my goal is a minimum at least one.
Let me ask you this.
Yes.
Are you familiar with 72 Seasons?
Love them.
Which came out this. That's the album.
Well, I tried.
Metallica's new album that came out this year.
Oh, they're still doing music?
Oh, yeah.
I thought Metallica was done.
Yeah. No, see, that's what's crazy. So they put out this record in, I want to say it was April or May of this year. And was it? Actually, let me check.
All I know is Metallica duty.
It's not important. It's the Metallica duty. That's a deep cut that like not many people have in their repertoire.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to say what it's from. If you know what that's from, cool. It was April 14th.
Okay.
Not important.
Very important.
That was definitely, I think even in my Spotify, it was like my most listened to full album this year.
What was so good about it?
So here's the thing. I went through a crazy, one of my phases.
Yes.
I was just having this conversation with Rachel the other day about how I go through things. You know I go through things.
I know you go through things. And you got to consume all of the things in that
I have to. My friend Brian, many, many years ago, I haven't talked to him about this, but I need to bring this up to him. One time I texted him telling him this band was like the best band ever. In hindsight, that is a ridiculous statement that I made about this particular band.
Were they good?
They're good and I like them, but they're very novelty. They're definitely not the best band ever.
Yeah.
They're just a band. And they had like 3 songs that I really liked, and they were kind of niche and weird, and I sent them to my friend Brian, and I was like, bro, this is legit like the best band ever. And he was like, he said something akin to, this was probably like, 15 years ago or something. Right. He said something akin to, this sounds like really bad Marilyn Manson. And I was like, no, it doesn't. And he's like, dude, this band's not even good. You're just going through like one of your things. And I was like, what do you mean one of my things?
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Totally not mature enough to face the fact that I go through things. I don't even know why I got so defensive. I just used to be so defensive about everything. And he's like, you just go through things. Like you get into a thing and that's just like all you do. And I was like, no, I don't. Like that. I just denied it for whatever reason.
There's no way.
And Rach said it the other day because every day I have come to her with a different factoid about Creed or Scott Stapp.
Yeah.
Dude, it is so funny, and I don't even know why. It's got to be like an ADD thing, but I literally
You're becoming an old man.
I think I've always done it though. Like I think I've just been doing it with turtles since I was 2.
Yep.
And I don't know.
I mean, that's good because it shows you get really passionate about the thing.
Yeah, I do. And
Want to learn everything about it.
And I do it with a bunch of stuff. It's not just like music specifically. Like I'll get into a certain there was a scientist this year that like the corner of health that he was talking about. I was like, I want to know everything about that, and so I was just like Googling and YouTubing. I'm sure a lot of people do this just because of the resources we have now.
Right.
But all that to say, I went through a crazy thrash metal thing, like history of thrash. I think I might have brought up the documentary that I watched on Prime. I want to say it was called Get Thrashed or something like that, or This Is Thrash. Yeah, look it up. So with that, I was going through a ton of old records, Metallica's first few albums, which are very thrashy, notoriously more thrashy than their later stuff, especially from like Black Album on. And they put out a couple singles for this new album, and the riffs were like pretty thrashy. And I was like, this is cool. And I'm a big fan of like most eras of Metallica. There are a couple records in there that I really don't love. Like Load and Reload have a couple on there that this is just to whom it may concern, to whoever this means anything to. There are a couple tracks on there that I really like because I grew up hearing them, but overall the albums are like blah compared to the rest of their discography. And then I think it was Death Magnetic. There was one album that came out that I was like, I tried to listen to it and I just couldn't do it. Like, was not for me. This album came out front to back. What was the thrash documentary?
It's Get Thrashed.
Get
Came out in
Thrashed.
2006? Or is
Yeah,
that a
it's
newer
old.
one?
It was old. But it's very cool. Like, it's super low budget, but it's very cool because they interview all of the bands from that time. Like,
Yeah, I mean, the reviews are good. 7.8 out of 10.
it's a great documentary.
So does thrash still exist? Are there bands still making thrash metal?
Yeah, it's not like
I don't know if you want to look at it.
a lot of bands have yeah, dude, it's so good. And the footage from, I talked about this when I brought it up on the podcast before, I think, but they have footage from the shows like in the 80s and
That's
stuff.
cool.
It's just so sick. That live footage is so awesome. But yeah, there are definitely a lot of bands who have like elements of it. There are a few bands who are still doing just straight up like they're a thrashy punk, thrash metal, somewhere in that region. But the dawn of it is kind of like what that documentary covers. Metallica, Megadeth, Slayer, and then it goes on to like Creator and bands that were like that. It covers like the US thrash movement and then kind of goes across the world and brings it all together. It's a very cool documentary. So on the heels of that, having this new Metallica record come out, I was like super stoked. And I had seen them like not long before that. And I love the album so much. And it's very much, they're older now. Like you can hear that on the album. It's a more polished record, of course, than like Kill 'Em All or Ride the Lightning, but it's so good. I just love, there's so many riffs on it that I really like. And I'm still a big like full record guy, so I go front to back when I can.
Do you think a lot of people do that or not so much?
So I know that there are a lot of people in my age bracket who still do that because that's what we always did.
Yeah.
I was thinking about my process of listening to music the other day, and I would literally buy a CD, I would sit in my room, I would put it in the CD player, and I would read through the booklet while I was playing. Like all I was doing was focusing on that album. And that's why I know those songs so well.
Yeah.
I was also thinking about how I used to discover so many bands from the thank yous in the booklets.
Oh.
And that's not really a thing anymore.
Like, because like when nobody buys CDs.
Yeah. And I think they might, I was reading something the other day, they was saying like, oh, that's the next thing to come back, which makes me a little nervous because I don't want them to get expensive. But people are buying records more now, but I don't know, like, I just used to go through the thank yous and find like all these bands, because all the bands that I would listen to would thank all the bands that they played shows with.
Yeah.
And I wasn't like Googling bands. I'd be like, oh, who's that?
Well, you couldn't really. I
Yeah,
mean, you
right.
could, but it's
wasn't
wasn't as
quick.
yeah, it wasn't as accessible. Either.
Yeah. If mom was on the phone, I couldn't just
that was
jump
the end of
online.
it.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, that whole experience is just different. And I don't know, it's so singles driven now, music in general.
Yeah, it is.
Like even Metallica putting out like 3 singles before the full album comes out just is like, oh, that's funny. Like that's what you have to do. And even when I'm like, I haven't done a full record in years. I've done like singles, I've done 3-song EPs, but I don't know. Like, do you have any interest in that? You've always been like a shuffle guy.
Yeah. I kind of like. There are not many albums that I listen to front to back that I like everything. If there's any, I couldn't even name any.
Yeah.
So yeah, like that, and that's will be part of my approach. Is like, will I listen to a full album that way, or will I just like pick an artist and listen to like their top 10 best songs, and that's kind of how I get the music. But I think I should listen to the whole album as they make it, or as they like present it.
That's the thing that I like about it. It's kind of like sitting down to watch a movie in a way. I like to see how the whole record's put together, and
because you assume there's some thought to it, right? They wouldn't just put random songs together. Like,
like picking which songs go where, and sometimes it's more thought out than others. Some records are literally like, my favorite album of all time is Trainwreck by Boys Night Out, which is a concept album, and the whole thing is a story.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. So there's stuff like that. Obviously, that's kind of a unique case, but I am seeing like Simi is a massive Taylor Swift and Olivia Rodrigo fan, and she has me put on certain albums when we're driving. I have to ask her because she's been collecting the vinyl.
Yeah.
But I'm like, when she puts it on her phone, I wonder if she puts on an album.
Right. Or if she just picks her whatever song she wants to listen to.
Because I want that to never go away, and I don't think that's just an age thing. I love the art of a full album.
Yeah.
And
I mean, when you're on Spotify, it's the whole album, and you just click like play at the start.
Yeah. And I'll shuffle sometimes.
Yeah.
But like not every time.
Not all the time.
But that's got to be my album of the year, 72 Seasons by Metallica, because I listened to it so much, and I listened to so much new music this year, but that was one that Spotify was like, you listen to this a lot. And I was like, oh,
dude,
I
relax.
did. Dude, when it came out, I was like spinning it over and over and over again. So maybe that should be your first one of this year.
Metallica?
You want to start with Metallica?
I'm down.
Some good riffage
I should
on there.
listen to old Metallica first and then listen to the new.
Dude, I'll give... Okay.
Because I gotta understand how they sounded originally to compare to what they have.
I do the same thing, dude. And sometimes I swear I sabotage myself. But if you listen to the newer stuff...
Yeah.
You might not get the older stuff,
Right.
Like you might go back and be like,
I'd probably want to listen to their best. So like, Master of Puppets, I assume is like their best.
So good.
So
I think that's my favorite.
Yeah. But that's what I'm most familiar with anyways.
So they have Master of Puppets, 3 before that? I think. I forget. I feel like you gotta start with Kill 'Em All. That's their first one. It's straight thrash.
I did listen to this was when I was back in college, and I had to do that project on Black Sabbath. And so I listened to that, and that was good.
Yeah,
they had some really good songs in that.
What did you listen to? Was it just random stuff?
It was whatever the first album was, just
Black Sabbath.
Just Black Sabbath.
That is a cool album.
Yeah, it was really cool. There were some songs that I didn't really get, or like they didn't click with me as much as others, but I was like impressed with how many I actually enjoyed.
Yeah.
Could I tell you any of the names of them now? No, but
I don't know that I could either. But
I'll recognize them if I hear them again. I'd be like, oh yeah, that's Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
But,
that's cool.
Yeah.
See, Tim.
See, there's a cool thing to it.
See, little Tim, you're on your way.
Little Tim Tam.
We'll have you educated by the end of the year.
Yeah, and that's that's the hope because when I was looking back at last year and making my list of like my tops of this year, music, nothing. I legit listened to like video game soundtracks and albums and stuff like
that's
that.
Good
is
stuff, though.
Yeah, but I want to actually be able to say that I've listened to other music, and I picked up on like TikTok songs and stuff like that.
Sure,
but I confidently had nothing to say.
Yeah, that's funny.
And similar in podcast, although there was one podcast that I listened to a ton.
Really,
and it's so out of my realm of like they kind of talk about video games, but no movies, no nothing. So it's called Anma.
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 ANMA. Okay.
Yeah, Anma.
Anma.
And so it is. And when I listen to podcasts, I've always listened to the same like core people from Rooster Teeth.
Oh, sure.
And I've listened to like all the spin-offs of their podcast and their stuff. So same thing. This is one of the two founders of Rooster Teeth, Jeff and Gus. And they're talking about their experiences like building Rooster Teeth and how the gaming industry was in like the 2000s. And so I guess there are some video games, but the point of the podcast,
it's peripheral,
right? It's part of their story.
Yeah.
But what they do on the podcast is they go to different coffee shops in Austin, Texas.
Okay.
And I guess all around Texas, but Austin is the big thing. And they try the coffees, talk about the coffees, and then talk about like places they want to go in Austin. Like it's all about Austin, Texas.
So-
and I don't relate to any of it.
I was gonna say, Tim neither lives in or around Texas,
No.
nor drinks coffee.
Not at all.
All right, good. So I wanted to be clear about that.
Yeah, but they talk about the places and stuff like that. But I just really like. I've always liked listening to them, as you know, Gus and Jeff, and just their stories because they were part of Halo, a big part of Halo's history because they did Machinima and they did Red versus Blue.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hearing their stories really cool, but. The big thing that kept me listening to every episode, and it's such a smart gimmick, and we should do it. We're gonna steal it. Anma is currently the name of the podcast, still the name.
Yeah.
But at the time, they didn't, when it first started, I think it's up to I won't even say what episode they reveal it, but the main thing of the show for a long time was the title, they didn't release what Anma stood for.
Oh.
And so every episode, people would suggest what the names were, and they would try to figure it out. So every episode I came back,
cool.
I'm like, what's the name of the show?
Yeah. That's smart.
Because it was just some way to like get people interested on top of everything else they did.
Yeah.
So I was so invested to hear the title, and it does eventually get said.
Yeah.
And,
was it satisfying? Or?
It was. Yeah,
you're like, oh, it's over.
It wasn't my guess. I definitely
Yeah.
I had a bunch of different guesses. And as the show goes on, they tell you like it's not 4 words, like ANMA is not 4 words. It ends up being like 3 words because one of the letters belongs somewhere else. So it's kind of crazy. But
Get little clues.
yeah, so
that sounds fun. It's a fun game.
yeah, that's and I think just the podcast interesting. If you like Rooster Teeth or if you like hearing 40-year-old guys complain about modern things, that's what it is. But I've been following them for a long time. But yeah, as far as
great.
other podcasts, I haven't really ventured out too much.
Yeah.
I'm not doing much that requires me to listen to podcasts.
Right.
Like I'm not playing a lot of podcast games. I'm not
Oh, yeah, I see what
doing
you mean.
things that
Yep.
make me like that I can listen to music and stuff like that. So
Right. I'm trying to think of what I listened to. I really got into this past weekend with Theo Vaughn. I got into a lot of the comedy space this year. I watched so much stand up. I probably should have. I think should I throw out one of my favies from this year?
Pizza Tower.
I want to say it was Michelle Wolf. Let me make sure I have.
Michonne Wolf.
Dude, Michelle Wolf put out a special this year.
I recognize her.
I don't know.
She doesn't look familiar.
She's been in some stuff. Her special this year was so good.
What was it on?
Netflix, and I'm trying to remember what it was called because it's like 3 sets. So it's released in 3 episodes, and it is so funny. It's Great to Be Here. Watch It's Great to Be Here on Netflix. I know this isn't a podcast, but I had never really seen her comedy before.
Yeah.
That is my favorite special of the year.
Wow.
She's so funny and
gotta watch it
clever.
then.
Yeah, dude. So great. I think you might even laugh at it.
I might get an actual laugh.
So in my getting into the comedy space, I listened to a ton of Two Bears, One Cave. I listened to Your Mom's House, all
these
kind
real?
of yeah, all kind of comedy podcasts. But Theo Vaughn, I just love the way that he communicates and interviews with people. So I listened to so many episodes of that this year, just even going back in the past on the past episodes. So that, and I think what's the other one? Fly on the Wall with David Spade and Dana Carvey, just because those two being together is like the coolest thing ever to me. So
Yeah.
a lot of interviews on that. That's mostly what I listen to in the podcast space. A couple like music scene ones too, but those are probably my biggest one. Lots of comedy this year.
You just want to laugh.
Yeah, you just want to laugh.
You just want to
You
smile.
know what I mean? I think, do we only have one category left?
I got 2.
You have 2?
Yeah.
Oh, I have 2 as well.
Yeah.
The first one is books and comics.
Books and comics.
Have you read anything good lately?
You want to go first or me?
You go, because I just went.
I don't think this book came out this year.
Okay.
Frankenstein?
Oh, Frankenstein. Yep. Nope. Came out, what, 1892 or something? When did it come out?
When
Do you
did it
have it?
actually come out? I do have it pulled up.
It's
Hold
got to
on,
be
hold on,
1800. Well, yeah, 1800s.
Yes, it is because, bro,
1892?
that's part of what's insane. 1818.
Oh, wow.
So-
That's way earlier than I thought.
Yeah. Here's what's so crazy about it
Yeah.
is Mary Shelley. I had never, I know of Frankenstein. I know the story of Frankenstein roughly. Never read it. I've never actually seen the movie. So I went in kind of blind to like the details.
Yeah, you've like seen it over the years, like parodied and such. So you probably have like a basic understanding, but no, you've never seen it all the way through. So totally understandable.
Right, exactly. And it was just one of those things where I was like, I don't actually know all of what goes on in the story. Bro, the book is incredible. It is tragic. It is absolutely a horror story.
Okay.
You know, this was kind of my like, you know, is Frankenstein considered horror because he's just like one of the monsters, like, or is it like actually scary? And it's like, the book is not scary, but it's dreadful. It's so tragic. And it's so interesting. Like there's so many things to one point in particular that you could really dissect and have a pretty deep conversation about with someone after reading it. And I don't know how heavily the movie or other tellings of it go into those themes. I'm sure they touch on all the,
Heavy moments.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of how to even like describe it, but talking about like, in a situation of the monster, like, is he at fault for who he is and his decisions, or does it have to do more with his maker and things like that? But it's just, it's a really intense and tragic story. And the craziest thing to me was, okay, it came out in 1818, right?
Yeah.
Let me just verify here.
It's crazy that story is still like enjoyable today. Like as much as time has gone on, it's still a fascinating story, and it's still, I wouldn't say it's like, I don't know if it's relevant to today, but people can still watch it and be like, that was good.
Yeah, right.
So, at least reading it and watching it too. Like it's just in general, the story's good.
Right. And I still want to watch it because now, like, it's another thing I'd never seen. I haven't watched Dracula, so I want to read that as well, and then watch the movie. But the thing that was so crazy to me after reading it and just thinking about Frankenstein and how iconic he is as a monster, is Mary Shelley was, let me do this math,
a real monster.
She was 21 when she wrote this.
Okay,
and it was, I mean, this was what, 208 years ago or something? 206 years ago.
Yeah.
And
crazy.
So one of the most iconic monsters in history was created by a 21-year-old woman 200 years ago.
Amazing.
Is that crazy?
It's insane.
Like this.
How did that story even go beyond where was she from? Do you know? Did it say right there? Because I wonder if she's from like the UK or something like that, or Germany.
I thought she was London.
That makes sense. Yeah, because it's like, you know, a lot of things women did and wrote and made in that time frame was just disregarded. So the fact that it went past all of that. Now she could have wrote it under a like pseudonym. No. A fake name.
I think that's
Is that what it's called? A pseudonym?
So.
Pseudonym?
Yeah.
A fake name, and maybe that's how it got distributed. It would be interesting to look up the history of her.
Yeah, that I don't know.
How that story existed or
I
survived.
think it was always published under. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know the history of it. That would be interesting. There's probably like a documentary out there. But I just thought that fact was really fascinating.
Yeah.
She created one of the most iconic monsters that long ago.
Right. To this day, everyone knows who Frankenstein is.
And the story, like even those details I had were like pretty accurate to the book. Like it's not like I was like, oh, the story I knew is nothing like the original. Like,
who is this guy?
It's pretty much been maintained. And the book is really, really great. If you're in my shoes and it's like you know of the monster, but you've never actually read it or anything, I would recommend it. I think it's a really, really important book, and it's a rich read. The audiobook was cool too because you get a really cool British accent, which I feel like is the way you're meant to hear it.
That's the way to do it, love.
Yeah, dramatic, man. It's dramatic.
That's a good read.
Pretty good one, dude.
Yeah. Similar to music, I also read 1.5 books this year.
That's all you need.
So that's my other goal, is not only listening to an album every week, but I at least want to be like regularly reading something.
Yeah, sure.
You know, and I have a million billion books over there,
do.
so I got to read them.
I have a bunch too.
I got to read.
That's another big goal for me this year as well.
Just start clearing them out, especially like graphic novels and stuff. You can get through those
Dude,
real
zip
quick.
through 'em,
Yep.
my guy.
Boom, boom. So the only thing I have to talk about this year is There's Something Killing the Children.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the only thing I've read this year. I think I read some comics. I read some Ultraman comics. But
You
yeah,
did.
There's Something Killing the Children is like, it was good. It was really, I wouldn't put it as like my favorite thing I read, but it's the only thing I read. So it was volume 1. And it was good. I like the way the story's going. I didn't love the art as much as I thought I would.
Okay.
It tends to be a little more like you want to like fill in the blackness, if you will.
Oh, okay.
You know, there's a lot of blacks, a lot of dark colors, and it wants you to use your imagination to kind of fill in the holes.
And you don't have any, so that's hard.
I got 0. You know, I technically read Ice Cream Man too, and that was good. I like that better than There's Something Killing the Children.
Okay, so you read multiple things, but you're saying you only read one. This is
only-
like when you said if you were trapped somewhere and they were like, you have time to watch one Christmas movie, and you chose your second favorite Christmas movie.
You know, there's life's like a box of chocolates, and you never know what you're gonna read.
Right.
And so
I've
don't
always said
remember. But I started. I'm reading Smashed right now. I point like you can see it on camera, but
I can look.
yeah, you know.
Junji Ito.
Yeah, Junji Ito, Smashed.
Tim just says
I
stuff.
just say things. But yeah, it's a collection, I think, of 13 different horror stories,
It's a lot.
all collected in one. So I have read a little less than halfway through it.
Dude, I gotta stop buying collections.
They're so...
they don't have the feeling of progression. You know what I mean? Like I've been reading the same like best of horror stories of 17 or something for like 8 years.
And you're just going through, but you're learning these stories.
It's true. I'm
Yeah,
learning these stories.
I don't mind. I don't mind the compilations.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's another goal of this year is books.
Let's go, dude.
Reading a lot more, and I got a lot for Christmas. Witcher series.
Yep.
I got other things over there.
Yeah. Me too.
So yeah, to our final category.
Let's go.
Food.
Delicious.
Food brings me to one of my. We're doing a challenge.
Now?
I am
Oh.
in my household.
Is it a health challenge?
It is.
You freak.
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
let's
yeah.
hear it. Let's
It
hear
is.
it. Maybe
So,
I'll jump in.
Everybody's got a different thing.
Yes.
That is their goal for the first month. But we each have an incentive.
Yes.
So if we reach the goal, we get to do the thing. Oh. So they're all a little bit different.
Yep.
Rach is she's trying to like hers are mostly like habitually based. So she's trying to change like how much water she drinks and eat certain foods.
She doesn't drink a lot of water?
No.
What a chump.
Dude, me neither. I never drink water.
Really? I
Yeah.
thought you drank a good amount.
I do not.
You're a soda boy.
Yeah, way too much. Diet,
Diet.
but it's still not water.
Yeah.
Dude, coffee and soda, like that's my deal.
That's
but
funny.
I
Do you-
drink some water.
I was
but-
going to say, do you ever drink water? Because I know people who like don't drink water.
Yeah,
at
no,
all.
I'm not a zero water guy, but I don't. It's not like my go-to.
Do you like the flavor?
No.
No.
Typically, no.
Yeah.
If it's so.
I think it depends how you have it. Like your
does.
sink
It
water
does.
is not the best.
No, it's not. It's not great.
The water we have here at the house.
Yeah, the water here is good.
Yeah.
I do like water, like good water.
Yeah.
Filtered water, a water bottle.
Yeah.
Especially if I'm warm, dude. In the summer, I'll crank some water. You know what I mean? Yeah. But yeah, I'm trying to do better with that. I'm trying to lose a certain amount of weight by the end of the month, and
Then
let's
you
see.
probably shouldn't come to my birthday party.
Jazz. Why? What are we doing?
Something.
All right, that's exciting.
You just might have to,
Well, dude, if I meet my goal,
Yeah.
we get to go to Sonic. So I don't know if you want to jump on the bandwagon.
Yeah. Taking a trip to Sonic?
Dude, the kids were like, yeah, because we were trying to pick something that like we would all encourage each other for.
Yeah.
I was like, what if I meet my goal and then we take a drive to Sonic? And the kids were like, they were so
Have
excited.
they had it before?
Like once or twice, yeah.
It's the dream.
I think once that they remember when we were in New York last. Was it New York? Maybe on our way. And they were like, this is the best. Rachel liked it too. She's like, it's like one of my top.
Yeah.
I don't think she'd had it before.
All I remember is the tater tots.
That leaves an impression.
Yeah.
I got it like a foot-long hot dog last time.
Yeah, I don't even remember. I would have to go crazy and just buy everything.
If you want to come, I'm intending to hit my goal. So, but yeah, if you want, dude, it's a month long.
Yep.
You're already a couple days late, but you don't have to. But that's what we're doing this first month. We got a little challenge going.
Yeah. So, what about Sim and Jazz
over the holidays? Simmy's is to do. She can't do push-ups, so she's trying to by the end of this month do like 5 good push-ups.
Does she not have like a lot of upper body strength?
I guess not. She just said it's like she can't make it happen.
I mean, I'm not great at push-ups, but
yeah, she just said she can't do it. She thinks it's her arm strength.
Yeah.
And Jazz wants to be able to do some pull-ups. He can't do any pull-ups.
Do you guys have the pull-up bar?
We don't, but he's been doing like stuff to strengthen his upper body, and then he wants to go to. We have a park nearby where he can like do it on the monkey bars and stuff. So
those are fun goals.
Yeah, man. So that's what's going on.
So what does that have to do with food?
Me trying to eat less of it and going to Sonic at the end of the month.
But last year, did you have any food that like really stood out to you?
I'm trying to
did you do anything crazy?
You know what? We did. What did we have? We had a.
Because I mean, you got to eat at a minimum, or at least once a day.
Oh, dude.
At least. But I know, I'm a 3-mealer.
I eat many times a day.
Yeah. So I assume you've been to a lot of different
I'm trying
places.
to think of what's something I had that I was like, okay, this is crazy.
Yeah.
We just went somewhere recently, and it was so delicious. What was it?
Your pizza party every year introduces me to like 100 different pizzas that I'm just like...
I love it.
They're so good.
That's the highlight every year.
That is.
Love the pizza party. Did we have any pizzas? You know what? You know what my highlight was?
What?
Getting Pizza Hut stuffed crust pepperoni with the Turtles boxes.
That was a good food memory.
I'm just saying, that's
the
a good one.
pizza was good.
Yeah.
The Turtles were good.
Dude.
That was a good pick.
I want a pepperoni stuffed crust now.
I know, dude, I could eat stuffed crust every day.
I know you
every day. I keep getting these. They drive me nuts because they make me so hungry. These pizza videos, and they're always like Chicago style.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah,
they're
the deep dish.
Yeah, they it's like 2 pizzas, and I'm like, it's always like someone visiting it. I'm like, I need it. I need it so bad.
I get those too. They do look amazing.
The shorts are killer. So I have 2 food things.
Okay, what do you got?
The surprise food upset of the year for me, anyways.
Yeah.
Cheetos. It's always Cheetos.
Cheetos.
Released Cheetos pretzels, and when I tell you, pretzels have not been my favorite food.
No.
For a very long time.
Yeah, what are you talking about upset? I've never seen you happier about a food in my life.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's an upset because I hate pretzels.
Oh, it's a win for pretzels and a
Yes,
loss for
Cheetos made pretzels.
Yeah.
Delicious.
Yeah.
And they just cover them in their cheesy dust.
That's all it takes.
That's all it takes.
Yeah.
So if you haven't had them, it's essentially a pretzel that they cut in half and then cover completely in Cheetos cheese dust.
Yeah.
And it's just so good.
I don't know why they're cut in half.
I don't know either, because they are pretty thick.
Yeah.
Like when they're not cut in half, because the initial bag, and here's the thing, the initial bag I had, they were super thin. They were like paper thin.
Yeah.
Then the following 2 bags I've had since then have both been really thick. They still cut in half, but they're thick
interesting.
cut. So I don't know if the first one was a failure, and then they then I got normal ones, or if the first batch, and then they're like, these aren't good, let's change the formula. So I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
But the thick ones weren't as good as the thin ones, but they're still really good.
So
I can still eat a whole bag.
That's because the thin ones were closer to you just eating cheese. Yeah.
Right. That's all it was. But those, I was really impressed with those.
Yeah.
They changed my life.
I remember you showing me them. You were very excited.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
And they also have a flaming hot one.
That
are
I
really
wasn't
good,
aware of.
Which are really good.
Dude, have you put any in Cheetos mac and cheese yet?
Yes.
You have?
Yeah, I did the super Cheetos mac and cheese bowl where I put in Cheetos popcorn, and then the Cheetos
Oh my gosh.
pretzels.
How was it?
Cheesy. Popcorn was not necessary.
Yeah, I feel like it gets squishy and like it interrupt your.
That's exactly what it was.
That's
It was
a
just
bummer.
like,
Yeah.
But the Cheetos, I always put in my Cheetos mac and cheese. And then the pretzels were good. They were just extra crunchy bits. But I
Delicious.
crushed them.
Oh, fancy.
So it was good.
Yeah.
And the other thing I had,
I'm ready.
Costco. We went to Costco
Yeah.
for the first and probably only time.
Yeah.
And I tried their pizza,
Yep.
their hot dogs,
Yep.
and their weird Hot Pocket
The chicken thing?
Yeah, the chicken
It was like
ranch.
a chicken sleeve.
Yeah.
It was so weird, dude.
It was so weird.
Yeah.
But the chicken sleeve in particular was great.
Chicken sleeve. I hate calling it that.
It's just like a foot-long Hot Pocket
Yeah.
that they fill with chicken, bacon, cheese, ranch.
Yeah,
I
but it
think.
was like good. The ingredients were like better than Hot Pockets.
Yes,
you know?
they were. It was a little bit more quality.
Yeah, a little bit, not like a
Yeah.
ton.
I
but
mean,
like a
it's
little bit.
realistically, it's just gas station food,
Right.
but with a fancy
How do you
name.
feel about gas station food?
It's
though?
great.
I like
It's
it.
garbage, but it's
Yeah.
great garbage.
Yeah, this
it's
is
like
great
Chuck E.
garbage.
Cheese pizza.
Oh,
You know, terrible but great.
I want to make a sandwich out of Chuck E. Cheese pizza.
Well, let's do it. Next food challenge.
How do we get one?
You can just order a Chuck E. Cheese pizza.
That's so weird.
You can just
'Cause,
walk
like,
in.
It's so weird because I would do that.
Yeah.
And I want to do that.
Yeah,
But like, the pizza is not good enough to warrant that.
totally is.
Especially because wherever there's a Chuck E. Cheese, there's definitely a better pizza place nearby.
Oh, for sure. It's probably next door.
Yeah.
They're like, come get better pizza at Pizza.
Like, I'm like, no, I'll have that weird cardboard with like a little bit of cheese on it.
And we're not
instead.
even, I don't even think we can play games. We just have to go and like sit outside.
They have to bring a kid, right?
Yeah, I think that's the rule. I mean, you can like order it on DoorDash or whatever.
That's so weird.
It is so weird.
I would do that though.
Yeah, why not?
I want to do that.
Let's do it.
Okay, fine.
But yeah, that as far as food, that's
So you had a Costco experience,
Yep.
and something new to add to your repertoire of Cheetos love.
yes.
Man, you love Cheetos.
I do, dude. It's so good.
That's pretty good.
They're so good.
They're pretty good. You know what else is good?
What? Don't say it.
The end of episode 271.
No.
Not that it's ending. I mean, we would hang out with you guys all day.
Yeah,
you know what
but
I mean?
this is our longest episode of the year.
This is
at
pretty
the
long.
beginning.
Oh, yeah, I just breathed really heavily on the mic. I'm sorry. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. This has been episode number 271. I want to thank everyone who hung out with us in 2023 and years past. It was a really good year. Every year, I feel like we meet a few more people who enjoy the podcast and share interests with us, and we love that. And we hope you love that
Yeah.
because we love you.
Yeah.
And I would love on YouTube for you guys to comment what were your favorites of 2023. Could be something that came out, something that you just experienced for the first time. And I hope you all had a safe and happy new year.
Yeah, I hope you guys had the most incredible of Christmases, of
Yes.
holidays, of
Yes.
New Year's, of
Yes.
life.
Yes.
And expect to see more of us this year from various different ways. Again, the podcast, we're no longer streaming live. Instead, we're just going to be doing goofy live streams
Yes.
of us playing co-op games together, reacting to YouTube videos, whether it be like, comedy stuff or horror short films of
Yeah.
the like, talking about news, basically just a fun, 1 to 2 hour stream of us just goofing around. So
It'll be some little different rather than just the podcast live
Yep.
and the podcast on YouTube and audio. You can go to the stream for something a little bit different.
yeah, and it's just more of us. So
More
if
of
you have
us.
suggestions, of course, let us know.
Yeah,
We're
message
down
us on
for
Instagram.
Everything.
What'd you say? Sorry, I talked over you.
No, that was it. No.
Tim, where else can people find you and your stuff?
Everybody, you can find me at Collection Revolution on Instagram, on TikTok, on Twitter. Just type in my name. It'll show up. I don't need any short things. Threads, YouTube, Twitch, everywhere.
Everywhere.
It's me.
It's Tim.
Mario.
It's a me.
And Brett. Where can everybody find your stinky toes?
Nah, bro.
That ain't it.
You can find me at This Drink I Like It on Instagram. There's a link tree there that'll get you to all my other stuff. There's music and podcast stuff and streaming and all that.
Heck yeah.
Tim's gonna do what's called End Babble, where he talks nonsense for about a minute and a half or whatever.
I'm going to throw
Tim,
up.
Your theme is Nintendo Microwave.
Okay.
Thanks, guys. Love you. Bye.
Hey, kids! Welcome to Nintendotopia, where everything you are is you. Welcome to our deluxe kitchen, where we have things like the Nintendo fridge, the Nintendo soot maker, and of course, our latest and greatest product, the Nintendo microwave. That's right. That's right, folks. You can cook your favorite games and then eat them for dinner. Super Mario Brothers? Mamma mia, that's a spicy game cartridge. Mega Man? Oh, shoot, that's a lot of bite to it. Get it? Megabyte. Also, what about Gauntlet? Warrior needs food badly. And you too can cook your favorite game cartridges at Nintendo Topia, where it's not just games that you meet, but you get to meet your games in a sandwich. And so I'll leave you with this. Don't put your games in the microwave. I know what I just said means you can, but don't. I mean, you can try. I don't think it's going to go well. You can just eat the discs like Chaos Legion. Eat it, because it sucks.